is you go out, you bust your butt every day as hard as you can, give 100% effort so that people will give you an opportunity. You do everything right, and then you go home and you.
Yeah!
People on crack!
Don't get me started. We'll get on that shit a little bit later.
If it ain't white, it ain't right.
What the hell is going on, good people?
Oh shit, we're on. Hi.
Hi, how's it going, guys? Oh man, my finger slipped. Oh shit. Oh god.
God damn it. God damn it.
Oh, my finger slipped.
Right, go ahead,
It's
go
slipped
ahead.
again. Oh god.
Okay.
Oh.
Get that in. Get that in. Come on,
Don't
get
worry,
it
it's
out.
not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I promise.
It's not.
Episode 152, the Straight Meddling Show, back after 2 weeks, just because whatever, you know.
Yeah, somebody had technical difficulties over there.
I did. And Jamal, I know you didn't see the promo because you're like social media illiterate for the most part. But this week, if somebody screen freezes up, you have to take a shot. So be prepared for that, kind sir, just in case it happens on your end. Motherfucker ain't even got no lick in the house. He ain't even got no lick in the house. Look at him.
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's gonna be drinking some wine or something. What? Or did you finish it all up for your wife?
No, we still got some, but I have put a decent dent in it. You know? I didn't want it to spoil, so
yeah, wine spoiling. Ain't it already fun? Anyways. But yeah, like I said, off after about a couple of weeks, well, back on after a couple of weeks, you know, nothing too big to report. So how's you guys last couple of weeks been? You know, I talk to you fuckers every day.
Been all right, been chilling, man. Hey, I was having a great ass sports week until the Lakers fucked up last night, but other than
that's okay. But like Monday, you had a good day on Monday.
Hey, from Sunday to Monday, it was a good day. No, Saturday to Monday. I'm sorry. Right. It was a good sports week for you, boy.
See, good. See, and that's why we didn't record yesterday. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was hungover like fuck. Simon, I don't know what the hell you had going on Monday when we was watching the game and shit, but god damn it, I was just I fuck it. And something special is no longer special anymore.
Oh yeah, that was on you, man. That was your drink. You picked that up. I didn't tell you to get that.
I mean, true, very true. Good point. Very good point. But anyways, got a good show coming up for you guys today. Of course, you know we're always gonna do some meddling while we're here, and then
it's actually in the title.
It's actually in the title, just for the record, just in case you fuckers didn't know about it. But why do you have a knife, nigga?
Yeah. You trying to stand? I know your team, love. Jesus, man, hold on, man.
Yeah,
chill.
It's okay. It's okay.
From the source, there you are.
You fucking. But we gotta kick this show off. Everybody out there right now is very important. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the voter show that we plan on doing. But remember the whole. Never mind. We'll talk about it later. But yeah,
you know, he'd be talking to himself. Think he'd be talking to us.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. But again, if you haven't registered to vote, yesterday was National Voters Day.
Registration day.
Registration day for those who have not registered to vote yet. At the same time, that's very, very important for people to do. Now, you know, I for one like to vote because again, people have died just for the right to be able to vote. And we're not talking about people like, you know, Booker T. Washington. We talking about your great grandmama, like some shit right around the corner type shit. So, you know, people have died for, you know, for that. So, you know, exercise your right to vote if you can, for those who can't. Sucks. But again, there's the website scrolling at the bottom.
Hey, if you even if you have a felony in the state of Texas, if you're not on parole or probation, you can go register to vote. I'm a felon and I vote.
See, there you go. And Jamile is a felon too. He just ain't told nobody. I think Jamile, he was one of those cats that got one of them, like he changed his name a long time ago. Like his name used to be in I don't know, Jonathan Bernstein or something.
Bernstein?
This nigga was like a Bernstein. Dang, you just made him Jew real quick?
A black Jew.
Goldman.
Yeah, then he had some problems, so he was just like, "Oh no, your name was Roland. You're from New Orleans, so your name was Roland. Fuck that." Anyways,
so that's acceptable.
Yeah. That's acceptable. But again, like I said, that's going to be scrolling all the way at the bottom the whole time. Again, go register to vote if you can. People, just exercise your right. I mean,
exercise your right, man.
Especially
in these local elections. I know national elections might catch your eye, but as Jay will always say, the local elections is what's really going to affect your day to day.
They're always the one that's going to affect your day by day, which is very true. And that brings us actually to our first topic for today.
From the source. There you are.
I have zero idea where this fucking video came from. It was on Twitter. Jamile sent it earlier. Or was that you or was that Eric? It could have been Eric. Sent it earlier. There's a promo out trying to get people to vote.
Oh, that was Eric.
That was Eric. Okay. So,
yeah.
So with this promo that's out trying to get people to vote, I'm going to play it. Hopefully we don't get cut off for playing it, but it doesn't have any copyright or anything on it, so we should be good to go. But check this shit out.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 get your booty to the pole. Yeah.
Did we get your attention? Good.
So, you really not gonna vote? You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it.
A district attorney decides who to prosecute,
including whether or not to go after dirty cops.
Do you know who elects the DA? We do, but you don't want to vote.
Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit.
Want trades and coding taught in our schools? Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market.
Want to end cash bail? Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do.
But you talking about, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty.
Ferguson just elected their first black mayor.
You know how that happened?
It's clear Black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials. If they matter to you, then don't let other people decide who's gonna run your community. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll.
Get your booty to the poll.
Get your vote, yeah, vote, stretch.
For information on how and where to vote, as well as resources to find out who's running where you live, go to getyourbootytothepoll.com.
Get your booty to the poll, get your booty to the poll, get your booty to the poll, get your...
Yeah. Oh. So I'm glad I'm not the only one that was jamming, right? But again,
get that.
First of all, two things before we actually talk about this.
Okay.
First of all, most of these chicks read a teleprompter better than Joe Biden. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh,
that's part one. That's part one.
Yeah. No hitches.
Yeah. And then the second part was my favorite part was I'll shout it, they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. Anyway.
They're gonna take whoever they want to shout it.
You talking about they're gonna do it anyway, shouting.
So the conversation.
Dude, we need that as a drop.
You think I ain't been working on it today? But nevertheless, so that video, again, that was the first thing that I really saw this morning, right? So because that conversation jumped off amongst us at like 7:00 this morning. And so
hey, trying to get your booty to the poll, man. What more can I?
To me,
it's pretty catchy. It's pretty catchy.
Yeah, to me, I like it just because. Okay, you have strippers, right? Everybody loves strippers. I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody loves fucking strippers, right? You don't want to pay them motherfuckers, but you love them. Okay, like if you're married or you got a girlfriend or something like that, you want her to do some stripping shit for you every now and again. Okay, so everybody loves that. At the same time, it is geared towards, you know, the black community, you know, the lower end, the lower class of the black community, where it's like, hey, you guys, this is the kind of music you dance to. This when you go to a strip club, these are the type of women that you see. Get your booty to the floor, you know, all this other shit. But then, if you're actually paying attention to what they're saying, they're making sense.
They actually make sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, that's how I look at it. Like, okay, whatever they're saying is making sense. God damn it, are you damn the messenger? Are you getting the message?
But it's always sketchy when you pandering to the lowest degree, to the lowest common denominator. Is that to people is like, nigga, really? Is that like you said? Because that was basically the discussion we had this morning. Like, nigga, you think that's what's getting us to the pole? That's not getting our booty to the pole. But I get it. For some people, it does. No, and obviously that's what they're going after. But yeah, most people gonna look at that shit like, man, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Right?
No, they're gonna be like, oh, she got a fat ass.
That too. Obviously, that goes without saying.
The one that was standing up with the blue on and all that hair. Yeah, I'm like.
That goes without saying.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. Shout it.
But again,
what strip joint did they go to? Like, which one did they go to? Did they go Majesty? Was this?
I want to know if I go to that strip club, are they gonna talk to me about like politics while they dance?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Are they gonna give me
Chris Rock said it. You know, if you diversify your portfolio. You know, ever since the Cold War, I know obsolete. You know, you never get a smart lap dance.
So that nigga joke really came true.
Man, shit, Chris Rock is an absolute genius.
And that nigga did that. He did that joke 20 years ago.
Yeah. That was 99 like a motherfucker. That's a goddamn shame. But the message again, I think the message is right. I mean, again, they kept saying, now that we got your attention, you know, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's women scantily clad.
Ass and titties always gets attention. Then why you think they put a pretty girl next to a brand new car? Come on, man.
Exactly. Why you know, I'm sorry, and maybe I'm wrong for saying this, and I do apologize, but why you think you have some of these, you know, sideline reporters on, you know, on sporting events? I mean, they're attractive women. So it's just like, hey, put them out there. Now, obviously they're not in their bra and panties, but you know, Lisa Salters is one fine woman, man. I'm not paying attention
but that's a woman, so you know you gotta go at her like that's a woman now.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
How
are you, ma'am?
Would you like some crumpets?
Can I take your booty to the pole, ma'am?
Ma'am, I'm trying to take you to the pole.
I'm trying to take
not that pole. Not pole. I'm talking about voting. Not that. I'm talking about voting pole, not the stripper pole.
Fuck it. I'm playing it again.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 get your booty to the pole. Yeah.
Do we get your attention? Good.
All right, that's enough of that. I think one of them was like a porn star. I'm not sure, but my porn.
Would you be shocked?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But you know. But again, I like the message. Obviously, they ain't no shit that you want to show some kids. Obviously, you know. But
that shit's all over Twitter.
I know, right? Ain't nothing you can do about it. So they saying all that shit. Well, get your booty to the pole.
Get your booty to your pole, man.
Nah, I mean, I would have chosen a different vehicle. I mean, that's not the only way to get people attention. You can get people attention with humor, which to a certain extent that was humor, but. You know, there's a lot of other ways to do it. And, you know, like Simon said, it's kind of pandering to the lowest common element when you go that route. And it's a little bit insulting that you feel like that's how you got to reach us by having somebody shake their ass in the camera, you know. So.
Get your booty to the pole. Get your booty
to the pole. If they're trying to get the people who the booty to the pole commercial is really gonna get to the pole, potentially have the booties at the poles.
Ooh.
Then they might show up. Put some polling stations in the strip clubs.
Is it too late to start a polling station?
I don't know. But put the polls in the strip club. They'll go there.
After you vote, you get a free lap dance.
Perfect.
Oh, come on now. They can't offer free lap dances. They can't offer free lap dances for that. I mean, come on now.
I mean, hey, that gets you in the door. After they get you in the door, you know everything about a strip club is a finesse. Come on, bro.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, would you like a Crown and Coke? Yes, I would. That'll be $15.70. You can take that bitch back.
Nigga, that hoe is already poured, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Yeah. Do you want me to keep it open or close it out? Close this motherfucker.
Man.
And go get your tip out for Tootsie over there. She got your tip right in the snatch. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Anywho, again, I like the concept just because again it's reaching a different audience. You know, you got people that got your voter die shirts on. You got these fucking ridiculous commercials that I'm Joe Biden and I approve this message. You know, all that kind of shit. You got all that. Fuck it, get some strippers in there. Why not?
And you know, and one thing you do, you know, politicians love strippers.
What up, Big Mace?
Yeah, you know that for sure. You know they love some strippers.
Hell yeah.
Politicians.
Hell,
men. I mean, probably prostitutes more than strippers for them.
This is true.
Them high end ones. Remember that one dude that like what he paid her like 80 racks or some shit like that?
Who?
Was it Wiener? The guy's name was Wiener.
Yeah. That was about 6 years ago, something like that. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a hot minute. But yeah, he was over there with all that bullshit, paying 80 racks for that. But she was fine though. Anywho,
not 80 racks fine.
Yeah, not 80 racks fine. Fuck that. Anywho, well, we'll switch topics. Segue.
Expired. Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
I like that commercial.
I love that fucking commercial. Matter of fact, one more time for the people that's showing up late.
Expired. Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
Damn, Bonnie was on their ass, boy.
Expired.
It's a lot. It's a lot of house. I hope you can keep it clean. That's right. Like, damn.
That's so fucked up. It was so fucked up. Like, honestly, I had every aunt section off, but I was like, I'm just gonna go with the expired one and just leave it alone. But damn it, don't worry, I got more of the shit coming. I just got to make sure that the shit, you know,
crazy.
Wanted to know, cut.
Homo things.
But
more of the shit coming. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you just fucking caught it just then, didn't you? Yeah, because I wasn't paying attention either. Anyways, oh. Big shout out to Deion Sanders. Big shout out to Deion.
Is he trying to get booties to the poll too?
I don't know, but he is the new head coach for Jackson State University. Yes. One big thing that's kind of been going on in 2020, talking about how within the Black community, more so, the top five, the 5-star recruits, the blue chips, or whatever you want to call them, start looking at maybe going to, historically Black colleges or universities. And honestly, again, congrats to Deion. I'm sure he could have went other places, your power conferences and shit like that, but he did choose to go to Jackson State. And I think that's huge. I mean, that somebody has to be the first one to do it, right? And now he's not the first one. Not the first former player to go be a head coach at Jackson State or at any HBCU, but it does go to show, like, sometimes some people need to put their money where their mouth is.
High profile. He's high profile. That's
very,
when
very.
you guys, and I mean, it's prime time now. What he say? I ain't answering to nothing but Coach Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
And he made that shit too. He ain't playing. He ain't playing at all. His press conference was definitely cognizant of some Deion Sanders shit.
But like I said, when I saw, I was like, at least he's going in there being himself. Like, That's him. So, hey, I'm not mad at that, man. Mm-hmm. And it got Jackson State on national news, on the national headline. Like,
I started looking up merch today until one of them hoodies was $60.
Oh, them hoes is clean though.
I'm all clean in the bitch, but
yeah, they're gonna have to come down on that. But
Come down on that motherfucker.
I don't know who you think
Just a little bit. But they trying to catch up. They trying to catch up, man. They trying to catch up.
Don't move too fast. Don't move too fast. But no, it's cool. It's cool though, man. I hope it starts a trend of some of the higher profile guys because, and it's funny. I was just talking to my mom, not about this specifically, but about Black people in general before we got on this thing, and we were talking about how Black people had to stop asking for stuff because other groups don't care, and it's not necessarily that they are racist necessarily, but our problems and our issues are not top of mind for them. They're not an issue that they're really going to fight for or anything because they're doing their own things in the different communities in the country, right?
Right.
And so I hope that this starts a trend of other guys because what do we always hear from Black coaches? Oh, they don't want to give us they don't want to give us the any head coaching jobs, right? We can't get a head coaching job in football, right? And we're always whining about that. Well, guess what? You can get a head coaching job somewhere, right? But you want a head coaching job in their league,
right? You want a head coaching job at Yale? No.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, you might be waiting for a little while, and if you're good, you might get your shot one day. But there's places like Jackson State, and other schools where having a lot of playing experience and coaching experience at a high level, like a lot of these guys do, will be, they will give you a shot, right, to be a head coach, and maybe that does propel you to something else, but at least you were able to help while you were there, right? So either way, I think some of these Black coaches who keep talking about they want to get a shot, which a lot of them deserve a shot, need to take a look at some of these institutions where they can get a shot if they're willing to maybe take a step back to take a step forward.
Right. And one thing in Deion's, it wasn't a press conference. It was his interview with Michael Strahan. He was saying, like, I just look out and I see us. I see my people out there. And I think, honestly, that's huge because, we can see it on TV all day, right? You can pull up YouTube, you can pull up websites and go, oh, well, this Black person made it. But again, for it to be more tangible, something, you can reach out and grab, like, I can go play for Coach Prime at Jackson State. You know what I mean? It's not going to necessarily cost my parents an arm and a leg for me to be able to go there. It's centered around Black culture, things like that, being around your own people, which I think is a great thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, diversity is a plus, but there's also nothing wrong in no way, shape, form, or fashion of being around your own people, fellowshipping, with your own damn people. Why else,
No, this is true, but I'm looking at it in a different light as well. And Monty Jones said it best. I heard him talking about this yesterday after it got announced. It was like, man, I hope Prime is always a show, and we know that. And sometimes. I hope this shit doesn't go off like his charter schools did, where that shit kind of got lost in the South, where there were people around them that were trying to do other things. Everybody was kind of looking out for themselves. And
he ain't gonna make that mistake again.
He understands like the gravity of this move. I think he does with how he was talking and stuff like that. It sounds like, but it's just. You understand the gravity of this move because you're successful there. Like, man, you started something. Like, you started something that's really like pivotal and moving and make some people move around. Because if you could start 5-star recruits to go to Jackson State and HBCUs and stuff like that instead of going to Ohio State and fattening on these white folks' pocket, man, people are gonna start shuffling their feet like. Yeah, we gotta figure something out real quick.
And to be honest with you, I blame it on myself, but I had no idea Jackson State was a fucking university. But it's just having those additional options, right? My son college he wants to go to is Oklahoma State. Okay, that's great. Don't get me wrong. Look, man, hey, it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. However, you
need to take the TV away from that nigga. Just because they want to fucking spread does not mean that's a place you want to be.
But nevertheless, but I like, okay, you got Oklahoma State, but then you also have Jackson State.
Take him for a weekend in Stillwater. He'll change his mind.
I mean, fuck out shit. He'll go out there and be right there in the middle. But you went to HBCU. Is McNeese HBCU?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
No.
Never mind.
No. No.
I'm
gonna need you to get your balls up, bro.
Man, I didn't even go to college. First of all, fuck them.
No, absolutely not, man. It's about 90. When I went there, that was when the black population was at its peak, and it was probably about 9-10%. So,
God damn. Yikes.
Yeah.
A lot of crackage going on there. But yeah, you'd be surprised how many times I'm asked that, though. Like, people think they haven't heard of a school, so they think it's HBCU.
I'm automatically going to that. Judge me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, you judgment.
Yeah.
But one of the things about Prime, though, is so one of the things that some of these 5-star recruits are always looking for is they're looking for the development, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, you had the guy, Corey Foreman, who's a top recruit this year, put Howard on his list. And I think it's kind of more of a kind of respect type thing that he's doing. I don't think he's actually going to go there. Matter of fact, he's visiting LSU this weekend. But I think one of the issues that some of these guys have is if you're 5-star, I got a shot, right? You can look at all the other 5-stars that have come through in the past, and there's a solid percentage of them that have at least done something in the league, at least had a cup of coffee. So those guys are looking to be developed, not just to play college football, but to be developed. And that's one of the things that Prime being at a place like Jackson State, at least for defensive backs,
right.
At the very least, there's no school in the country that can come and say that they can develop you better than Prime, right? Right, exactly. At least in theory, maybe he's not a great coach, but at least in theory, there's no defensive back coach that can walk in and say he knows something about coverage that Prime doesn't know.
Right.
It just can't be said. So, unless your coach is, I don't fucking know, Rod Woodson or Charles Woodson or somebody, like, you really ain't got a shot, and neither of them are coaching. So, so I think that's something that for the right, still a lot of people are going to want to go take the big school, but for the right guys who maybe instead of going sit behind somebody at LSU or Georgia or Ohio State or something like that,
I can play right away.
I can play right away at Jackson, and I can get coached by a Hall of Fame defensive back. And I know I'm going to get, if Deion is the head coach, I'm going to get pro scouts' eyes on my team. Right. So, I mean, for them, he really puts them in a position where, look, the facilities are not going to be what they are at these other schools.
Nah, Chet, he's finna put some money in there.
A lot of stuff is not going to be at that level. But if you just want to come play football, be a part of the culture, and then get coached up, and you're not worried about the other bullshit, then Jackson State could be a place for you.
That's good. And like I said, I love it. I love every single second. And again, just the right personality for that kind of, I guess, movement. It's not anything that's official, of course, but that kind of movement to, your Hall of Fame former players. Let's go through, hey man, let's go talk to some of these smaller schools. We ain't finna try to go to FSU because there's too much shit going on. That's 100 years worth of winning going on over there. Let's go talk to these other, smaller end schools, get these players in here. Maybe the ones that may academically may fall a little short at, your SMUs or whatever fucking colleges or whatever. Let's get some of these players in here. Prime time don't let the mama be around 40.
I would definitely go to Jackson over SMU. Although I have been to Jackson, Mississippi, it's a situation, but
some shit bad when a motherfucker say it's a situation.
Yeah, it's a situation, but I go to Southern or Graham. Well, Graham's a situation too, but
I'm about to say Graham right there in them sticks too.
Yeah, but Graham's a cool place. I love that.
Yeah,
but it ain't for
it's just like you say, man. And like I said, what he was on his interview with Michael Strahan, he was like, man, I'm trying to make professionals, not just professional athletes. Trying to coach up professionals in their regular life. And so like when you start stuff like that, it's like, okay, I hear you. And I hope you're able to implement that plan. And man, because to me, it's a good look.
Yeah, I mean, off top, prospects in Mississippi are going to want to go there, because despite LP not having heard of Jackson State, like as far as HBCUs go, like it's a pretty, everybody knows about Jackson State, so except for you, but
that's all right though. Hey, you see what
my point is, in Mississippi, it's a big name, and players will want to go there, especially if they can play for Prime. Rather than maybe going to some of these other programs where they're going to have to fight and claw for everything as far as even getting on the field, then end up going and having to transfer anyway, right? After they bring in some other 5-star on top of it. So it's a good look. And again, I also look at it from the other direction of these black coaches where, you can go and try to work 35 years in the NFL and see if you can possibly maybe prospectively get an opportunity to possibly interview to maybe have a chance to have an opportunity to talk to a team about potentially being a head coach of
Did you just have a meeting to talk about another meeting that you're gonna have after you meet with that meeting?
That's basically how the black coaches interviews are. It's a meeting about a meeting. You're gonna interview you about interviewing you. But
just to say we interviewed you.
Would you like some grape soda?
Yeah, but at some of these other programs, if you're a former player, you can go coach a couple years in the league. If you got some connections to get on somewhere, and then you can get a coordinator spot or a head coaching spot that might have took you 15, 20 years to get, and you can do some good, for the community. So
that's good. That is good. So big ups to Deion Sanders.
Big ups, man. It's a good look.
I've been following for a few years on Instagram, especially, and that motherfucker is always funny. So, congratulations again, Coach Prime. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Get your booty to the pole. 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 Get your booty to the pole.
California. This is some shit that just kind of jumped off later on today. I can't remember what the fuck I was doing, but I saw it. But California has the governor. Let me get what was his name? Gavin Newsom. There you go. Gavin Newsom. He has signed an executive order to ban gas-powered cars and trucks by the year 2035. That. First off, I don't think the shit's gonna go. Second,
that's ambitious.
Well,
15 years to get everybody out of a gas car? Yeah, come on now.
But I mean, then you have to look at it, and that's why I don't think it's gonna go, right? Because number one, 15 years isn't long enough, right? Because not only do you have older people that are not going to make a change. They didn't pay their car off 10 years ago. I'm not going to do this shit just to make you happy. Fuck you. If I was in that situation, fuck you. I wouldn't do it. But then you also have, the kids that are coming up just now getting their licenses and shit like that, where, parents still have to foot the bill for the car for whatever reason, for better or for worse. It's just a lot of shit that's going on that I don't think you're going to have 100% compliance. Because, I mean, what do you do at that point? Like, oh, officer, why did you pull me over? Because you have a gas car. The fuck?
Nigga, fuck you.
Right.
Yeah, nah. I mean, it's go ahead, Jack. Go.
Well, I think it sounds crazier than it, because they're already going to start moving away from gas-powered cars. A lot of companies. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's kind of getting ahead of what's already coming, right? So, I mean, one of the companies that's gone up the most, I don't necessarily think it should have gone up this much, in my opinion, but one of the companies that's gone up the most in the stock market this year is Tesla. I think it's up over 1,000% this year, right? And that's when people invest in a stock, they're not investing in it today. It's a forward-looking, right? So Tesla today, they barely sell any cars. I mean, they sell lots of cars, but not compared to Ford or Chevy or
it was SpaceX.
Yeah, so they're looking forward and saying, okay, this is gonna be a growth area where they're gonna be selling a lot more cars and also batteries. So I think he's kind of getting ahead of it. You know, California on this kind of stuff is always, decades ahead of everybody else. So who knows if it'll even stand? It sounds like the Trump administration is going to challenge it in court.
Right.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Well, because you have to like, and fuck whoever the president was going to be like, nah. Like if we're going to do this, it has to be something that across the board we all agree to. Just because, again, if you're trying to make your that's what Russell said about
shift.
Yeah, it's a major shift. Like think about all the fucking gas stations, right? Like you have to change your gas stations out from that to electric. Like it's just a lot of shit going on, right? It's just a ton of shit. And like I said, to me, I see what he's trying to do, but again, I think this one's just gonna fall flat. I mean, if
he's ambitious,
there was something else in there, like I can't remember what the there's something else in there. I can't remember what the caveat was, but it's like something about 2045. So like something was by 2035, and then there was something else by 2045. So I can't remember if it's like by 2045 you can't sell it anymore, or I can't remember what the exact.
By 2035 for everybody to be with electric cars, and then 2045 is to make the shit more feasible. So 10 years after you're supposed to have a fucking electric car, now you want to make the shit affordable. See, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm looking at my own age, I'm 60 years old. Like I'm not changing shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm at that point. You're basically saying, wait, unless you just come into a windfall or something, and then you're more open to some options. But for the most part, you're 60 years old. I'm doing what I've been doing for 40 some years. I'm good.
I'm straight.
I'm good, man. Like I said, man. I keep my oil changed and everything like that. Ain't no black smoke coming out the back of my car. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, although in 15 years they're not going to be $70,000 like they are now, but
they're going to be 120.
Still doesn't mean, even if I got to buy a fucking Sentra, that doesn't mean I want to spend the money on that if I already have something, right? So
right. Yeah, because like I said, like you have people. I know many people that you've been having the same car for, like I said, 12 years. You take care of it, get your oil change, do all this other shit, man. That's fucked up to make people change that shit because, well, the reason for it is important, right? But Gerard Carmichael said it best.
The way you're going about it is like,
well, it maybe he's trying to get a reaction out of people because and I haven't read up on Gavin at all. I'll end up doing it tomorrow, but maybe he's a climate change guy, right? Well, an extreme climate change guy. But like I said, Gerard Carmichael said it best. Like, hey, what are we saving this planet for? Our grandkids? Fuck them. So, you can look at it like that too. Like, there's no point. Well, not necessarily a point. That was good.
I mean, that just how you said it, you didn't recite it the right way. That one kind of went flat.
I can't be Gerard Carmichael, but his point was like, damn, man, they're gonna figure it out. We always figure the shit out. Let them figure the shit out how they want to. Don't force
the wheels fall off, huh? Not your problem.
Don't force me to do some shit that I don't necessarily want to do. That, right? We're not talking. Okay, trade in your gas car. You're gonna get a brand new car. They will never give away a brand new car like that, right? We're talking. You have a car that you've been paying, that you paid off 5 years ago. You made a plan to pay it off. You paid it off. You're done with it. Now all of a sudden you have to buy another car. And we're not talking a 10.
Well, but here's the thing though, and this is what they're trying to do, is they're saying by announcing it so early, what they're trying to encourage is for people to start thinking about, because some people are already thinking about, well, maybe I'll get a whatever when the price gets to a certain level, right? Mm-hmm. And so now this gives them incentive to say, maybe in 2-3 years they're trying to get another car. Maybe there's an electric car that comes out that's reasonably priced. They may say, let me go ahead and get that. We're supposed to be, have this by a certain period of time anyway. So why don't I just do it now, right? That's what they're trying to change the mindset of. Now, who knows?
Just planting the seed.
I don't know what this motherfucker is going to look like in December, so I can't really project out to 2035 or 45. So Who knows? Maybe we won't have. Maybe nobody will have a goddamn car by then. Maybe we'll all be gone. Following LP's climate plan. But I think they're trying to put it on people's mind now. Here's my question about it.
Thank you, Addie. Thank you.
Man, LP gonna be driving a F. Well, they probably gonna have an F650 by then. But
and I'm gonna get that hoe.
to buy it, but he'll get it. but here's my question about the whole electric car thing, and it's twofold. Like, so, all right, you have an electric car and you got to charge it up to get power into it, right? Well, where's the power coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Now, people act like just because you have an electric car that you're somehow just the car charges itself, or the power comes from the sun or Jesus or something like that. Like, no. Like, if you're like right now, if you plug something into your wall, depending on what your power company is, they're burning coal or gas or something to generate that power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so are we just shifting it from the gas station to the power station, where the power station burns the gas for us and then we charge our car at home with that? Because to me, that doesn't really get us anywhere.
That power grid gonna be fucked up.
Yeah. And then that's the first part. The second part is I was watching this documentary called Planet of the Humans. Everybody should check it out if you
Where is it on?
But it was basically talking about this green revolution. And
it just disregarded your question, LP.
What platform was it on?
Oh shit! Where did I watch it? I think I might have watched it on Amazon. Not Amazon, Netflix. But it might be on Amazon too.
Just Google it, people.
It's out there. It might be on YouTube by now, actually.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, basically the documentary was talking about this green revolution and talking about how they're trying to go solar and use batteries and all this kind of stuff, but kind of not talking about the fact that to make solar panels or to make batteries, you need rare earth minerals. By definition, they're rare, right? So if you have a whole planet trying to convert over to using these things, very quickly you get into the same situation you were in with oil, and it's almost even more destructive, because at least in oil, sometimes you can stick a hole in the ground and not too many people who aren't working on the oil rig know what's really happening, right? There's not that much infrastructure above the ground. But
holes and holes.
But with these minerals that they have to mine to get these batteries, they gotta blow the top of mountains off, right? So they've shown mountains where there was a mountain and then now it's just like, I mean, it looks like a hellhole, right? Where they basically just blew the mountain up and took all these minerals. So it's not really helping the environment by just going in and blowing shit up and taking that and sticking it in your car. So I'm not even sure how sustainable the plan that we don't really have a plan.
We don't. There is no plan. There is no plan.
There's no plan.
But I don't act like I don't want to gloss over. This nigga said poles and holes.
Did I say that?
No. Simon, dumbass.
You took poles to the holes.
Well, you know what that means.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 get your booty to the pole.
All right. I think that's the last time we'll play it. I think that's the last time we'll play that.
Talking about they're gonna do what they want to do, shouting.
Shout it. But kind of to wrap that one up. Yeah, there isn't. Again, I do think it was a shock thing that he was going for, which I like it. Right, if your long-term plan for that, or for your short-term plan, is to put that on people's minds and to get the attention of the House, of the Senate, of other politicians and shit like that, I like it. You know what I mean? Now, there's no way in hell this shit is going all the way through, like from where it is right now in its infancy stages, all the way through 2035 without, some amendments going here and all this other shit. So, again, if that's the way of the future, then that is the way of the future. But again, how they have it mapped out, I'm 60 years old. I'm not changing.
Because not just California, but lots of states, like have you ever seen when you're buying something online, you may have not paid attention, but there's oftentimes like a disclaimer for certain things. Like if you're buying this in California,
you're signing your wife away.
Damn, dog.
But lots of states ban lots of products because they think they're harmful or whatever. So you could make the case that it's harmful to their environment. They got a big smog issue, especially in places like LA. So you could make that case. So I'm not sure that it, it's going to get challenged. And now the thing is, it might end up going to the Supreme Court, which is going to be full of Trumpers. So they'll probably strike that hell down. But
yeah, that's a wrap because they got some money in them oil things over there too. All that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, you know that. He got money on oil and Russian and shit too. So
Jerry Jones gonna be like, hell no, you out of your goddamn mind. Speaking of Jerry Jones,
playing with my money.
No, he ain't playing about that bullshit. Speaking of Jerry Jones, I guess we can segue to this.
From the source. There you are.
Show back up. Anyway, so NFL season has kicked off. I'm one that if I fuck up on something, I will be the first person to apologize. Right? If I say the wrong thing, I'll be the first person. Okay. When have I not apologized when I'm wrong about something? It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. So fucked up. I thought we were both. Anyways, but no. I am the first to apologize whenever I'm wrong about something. It's just I'm not typically wrong about shit.
You are the first to change the story about it when you're wrong about something.
Yeah. You will gas bag a lot. Yeah.
So
by
definition of an apology, then yes.
What?
If gas bagging is your way to saying you're sorry, then yeah, you do that shit all the time.
Just because y'all went from sweeping the Nuggets to losing 4-2 in one night, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so if I'm wrong, I will apologize, and I apologize to the NFL because I brought this topic up several weeks ago, where I was asking, or where I was saying that the NFL is fucking up by starting the season. They started it. Always started it. And again, I stand corrected. I thought it was going to be a shit show. I thought all of the shit wasn't going to make sense. Like everything was going to go out there and just, they were just going to fuck up everything that they could. Right. And I actually have not noticed a huge difference from watching it on TV with no fans being in the stadium.
Yeah, but you never focus really on the fans in the first, unless you're like at a place like Kansas City or Seattle, where the fans kind of make a big difference in what's going on. Defensively, when Kansas City defense is on the field or New Orleans defense is on the field, that it makes a big difference with no fans. But aesthetically, you always watch the game. You didn't give a fuck about Joe Blow up in motherfucking row 225 unless he's running on the field, and they never show that shit. So,
but it just shows a level of excitement, right? Like sometimes the players get hyped, and this goes to show too. This goes to show that yes, the fans help. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, these guys are professionals, right? They have a job to do, and they're going to go out there and they're going to do that fucking job. So because they play road games, they're not getting cheered on the road. You know what I'm saying? So whether they're going out there, on the road or what have you, they're amped up and they're hyped up for the game. I was expecting some type of lag with the players. No preseason, no. I'm expecting something, right? There's something to the negative, but I'm like, shit, this shit look like.
Wow, but why? That was our why did you have to be so you obviously everybody kind of wants football, outside of people are protesting it for whatever fucking stupid reason. But other than that,
they're watching it.
Yeah.
They're watching it.
Oh, of course, because it's still the #1 show on 5 different networks. But yeah, like I'm saying, it's one of those things where that's their job. So if they take their job seriously, which we figure they do, they got to the motherfucking NFL. There's not going to be that much there's not going to be that much of a drawback. Yeah, at the beginning there was some people that opted out. It was a lot of veterans, and I, for one, are not mad at them, not because of the code, but how slick a move that is. Because you still get paid this year, not what you will get paid, obviously with your contract, but your contract kicks right back off where it was from the day you left it when you come back next year with no break in the whole cycle. So it's like you got an extra year without getting an extra year. It's like that you play with that gray area. And most of the people that opted out were veterans, people that got their money. So they just milking the system. So, yeah, that's not even a bad move for them because I basically get a whole year to rest up, be with my kids. Then I get to hit the ground running next year with a full off season and a full preseason and shit like that. So, and it said to this day, really, what outside of in the off season, whatever the virtual off season was, as soon as for the last 2 weeks, there haven't been any positive tests amongst players. So doing good and no bubble.
True.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, as far as the fans not making a difference, I mean, I notice a difference. Now, it's not a difference enough for me to like care, but I notice, like, for instance, when they score a touchdown, a lot of times guys will go jump in the stands or throw the ball to the fans.
The Lambeau leap is done.
Or the fans are going crazy, and it does create an atmosphere. Now, the TV networks have resolve that by basically tightening the camera frame, right? So you never even really see anything other than the field, and then they pipe in the crowd noise to make it seem like there's really people there. So yeah, from a TV perspective, it wasn't too bad. They basically followed off what the NBA did, right? Just bring the camera all the way in, pipe in the noise, and nobody can tell the difference. And as far as the players, here's the funny thing about being a football player. Anybody who played football can tell you actually practice way more than you ever play games, right?
Right.
Like it's kind of hilarious, right? Like the whole sport is practice basically, almost. So players are used to making plays in an environment where nobody's looking, nobody cares or gives a shit besides them and the players and the coaches. So for them, especially as pros, yeah, I don't think it's going to make as much of a difference. There are some competitive things like y'all were talking about. Like if you have a real home field advantage, that's not going to be it's just not going to be there this year.
Right.
Not in the same way. I mean, you still have a little advantage because they had to travel up there and all that.
Yeah, but you're still on your home field.
Yeah, but where that comes into play is like fourth quarter, they driving 2 minutes off. The crowd goes crazy. They can't get the snap off, so they got to burn a timeout, or they get a delayed game, or one of the linemen doesn't hear the snap count, and a defensive lineman jumps him and gets a sack, and ball game.
Right.
So I can't tell you how many times that happens in the Superdome. Like on them last couple drives, like Cam Jordan probably get half his sacks in the fourth quarter because, like I said, when it gets loud enough, and the linemen, especially the tackles, who are the furthest from the ball, can't hear, and the defensive ends can look in at the ball like the tackle can't really do. Sometimes they can get it out the peripheral, but it's much easier for in, and they get all kinds of jumps and they get a lot of sacks. So, yeah, from that perspective, it hurts. But overall, that's probably a 10% difference or something like that.
Right. Nothing significant.
And really, everybody's playing with it, the same deck of cards. So, you really ain't got no excuses. So,
and well, go ahead and finish your thought because I was going to say that was a good question.
I was just saying, there's really no excuses. So, overall, no, it hasn't made that big of a difference, but it's just a little lame. That's all.
Right. Okay, but that's a good question. Addie, she just asked, what if they turn it into a pay-per-view? Now, personally, I don't think they would do that shit, but if they turn NFL into a pay-per-view, would you pay for it?
I'd pay for one team.
I pay for my team.
And one team only, yeah.
But that will regionalize the game, and they're not trying to do that.
Right.
It's basically turning into baseball.
Clipping themselves off at the knees. They ain't going to do that. So,
right.
For the most kind of, if your favorite team isn't playing, you kind of love watching the scope of the game. Like, going on, and because it's always. That's why I love NFL Red Zone, because it always cuts you to the action, like boom. And it's like, man, you want to stay up with all the games. Like I got to see, like I said, outside, since the Raiders played Monday night, cue the score. Cue the score. It's goddamn it, LP, you're slow with it. Shit.
It's not going anywhere. It's not. Look, Jamal, go ahead and look. Just keep looking. What are you looking at?
In the game, I watched 7 hours of no commercial football all Sunday. Like, nigga, what's more, what's better than that? Because I had a day at the house, and like, hey man, I'm gonna have a lazy day at the house and just watch football all day.
And it was stress free since we played on Monday, and it was great. It was great. So
I mean, it's just. Excuse me. Go ahead.
I will say this. Oh well, let me ask, because we really haven't talked about it. Are we doing picks this year, or are we just going to talk about the games?
We can do pick, but we haven't been picking, so I was.
This week we'll talk about the games from week 2, and then we will get to the picks.
How about we just move forward, though? Nobody cares about what happened.
No.
Yeah, no.
In this game, we're going to talk about last. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Well, I'm saying, like, why don't we just pick one game a week to talk about?
Oh, you sure about that? Because
I'm talking about in the net, like you go forward, so it'll be week 3 that we're talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, week 3.
I like that Kansas City Ravens game. That's gonna be.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, it is. Anyway, so week 2 in the NFL. We got to talk about it just because this shit fucking happened, right? Well, no, before we get to that one, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
We knew.
Well,
go ahead. What's your take on it?
Well, the first 2 games.
We should become one franchise. Like we should just merge the team.
I mean, they were founded by the same person, so
together they can get to like 7 wins. So.
That's fucked up. That's fun. But Joe Burrow. I've watched some highlights. I've also watched that's what I was getting to. I'm like, nah, the white boy's kind of good. This motherfucker's actually pretty good. And
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, but it's just.
Gee, I hear you. We're gonna do picks, Gio. Gio said do picks.
Yeah. But so again, Joe Burrow, he's came out. Yes, they're 0-2, but no one expected them to actually win either of those games. Maybe this one was a toss-up, and that's why the final score was 35-30. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, this wasn't a toss-up. Well, Cleveland got way better talent.
But Cleveland is here, and then they're here in a half. God damn it! And it's they're.
They're Cleveland, but they have fucking Cleveland has talent.
Absolutely, not questioning it whatsoever. But again, I'm more so like, okay, well, Joe, you got 2 games now. I don't know who they play next week. I'll figure out in a little bit, but I'm curious to see how his progression is going to go week after week, and when he's going to get frustrated.
Oh, he's already frustrated. He's lost as many games right now as he did in 3 years in college. He went from Ohio State to LSU. Like this nigga is, he's mad. Like outside of maybe his, he's pissed off. Like what else there is to say? Like man, he's used to winning.
Yeah, well, he gonna have to get used to losing now. So
man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough sledding for him.
Yeah,
but we all saw that coming. Right.
They need to. I'd tell you one thing though. They need to protect him better. Like, now he's good at kind of like just maneuvering and getting out the way a little bit, but overall, like you don't want too many the quarterback, under too much pressure.
Getting hit like that. No.
Yeah,
no, of course not.
You need to take care of that. Also, y'all could build an indoor practice facility as well.
That ain't gonna happen.
Please, just just for once, get an indoor practice.
Like a big ass tent at least. Like, can we just get out the wind?
It's 10 degrees up here and we're practicing outside. I get it, but are you really getting something done? Most people hate. Like I said, like Jay was saying, you practice way more than you play. I'm not saying don't go out. You have to get your body acclimated that you're going to be playing outside in those conditions. But man, when installs. Come on, man. Let's go get inside real quick because you know we're gonna be in full pads or not, or it's a little shells or something like that. Man, let's get inside so we can kind of go through this shit kind of faster and actually get some work done than being outside all fucking day and then 10 degrees outside with a minus 5 wind chill and shit.
Plus, like when I can see going out for a couple of days that week, but especially when you're doing like the install and trying to get the game plan in and all that, where you need people to be concentrating. I would do that. That's how most teams do it. Like even teams in the North, like, you know, first couple of days of practice is inside when you're trying to get the mental aspect down. And then the, you know, last day or two before the game, we go outside to make sure we, you know,
we're ready for these elements.
Yeah. So Bengals. I know he had to walk in there and be like,
he was mad in the motherfucker. He was mad in
like,
the motherfucker.
at the locker room in the facility. He's like, what the fuck?
He still work out at LSU while you bullshitting. Next game.
He's gonna go down now every summer.
Yeah. Next game up, Falcons, Cowboys. Now, the question I have is this much ado about the Falcons or much ado about the Cowboys?
About the Falcons.
This is what they do. This is what I told you. What did I say when they were leading? They're probably about 20 points. I said
that was in the second quarter.
The blow.
And they finna fuck it up. They finna fuck it up.
And it's always the same with them. Like a million things that are unlikely have to happen, and they all happen.
It's a slow burn too. Yeah. It's never like rapid.
That don't slow the bitch.
What the? And you're just watching. It's just like a car crash, and you just see like, oh shit, they about to crash. They just fucking crashed. Because and how you kind of knew that Cowboys could get back in the game was Cowboys were turning the ball over at an alarming rate, literally an alarming rate, and you was only down by 20.
Yeah,
like if you turn the ball over if you turn the ball over that many times in the first quarter on your side of the field, you're supposed to be down 28, going to 35 type shit.
Right.
And they were all 20.
That's a good question, Jill. Real quick, that's a good question.
But I mean, you gotta let the season play out first. Like, you know, see where he's at the end of the year. And if
Giants are still trying to win.
Yeah, if you
quote unquote, they're still trying to win.
But I'm not one of them teams, I'm not one of them teams that feel like you got to give a quarterback 3, 4, 5 years to figure it out.
8 games, baby.
For the most part, most of the guys who are really good, you know it very quickly. It's not something where now Mahomes had to sit a year, but as soon as he got in to start, you knew he was good. But like we were just talking with Burrow, you watch him, and even though everything is falling apart around him, you're like, he's good.
He's good, yeah.
He makes like throws that a lot of quarterbacks aren't going to make. So it doesn't take that long to know. And I think sometimes the NFL gets in their own way where they feel like we drafted a guy high, we got to try to make it work.
Right.
But
yeah. Josh Rosen doesn't feel that way because said, hey, after a year, nigga, get your ass up out of here.
That's a generational talent right there, though. Kyler Murray, that's a generational talent.
Yeah, man, he doing the thing. But but as far as Gio's question, though,
I've seen it since his sophomore year. That boy's been good since good was good.
I'm surprised at how much he dominates, like at his little tiny size. But
the motherfucker's tiny, dog. I'm glad I got to see this motherfucker in high school because I know damn well I can't afford tickets to go see the motherfucker now. Okay,
yeah, and there actually are no tickets. Right, you can't. They're priceless, literally.
All right, so but again, you know, back to the Cowboys-Falcons game. Again, it is a collapse that the Falcons are used to doing.
But you still got to give the Cowboys credit for still fighting and scratching it like a motherfucker.
The door for you still got to walk through, right? So
right.
But that last onside kick, that was one of the funniest plays. The ball.
Fuck.
That's you remember NFL Follies?
Yeah.
that would have let it off. Like The only people that can't touch that ball when that ball is spinning like that is the kicking team. If you're a receiving team, hey, you know how I can end the game right now? Just jump on the ball and end the game.
The thing is, it was going slow. Like, it was just spinning slow, like, and they're just shuffling along with it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? The whole time I'm like, what are you looking at? And I want him to lose, but I'm like, what are you looking at? What the fuck?
That play was a microcosm of the whole game. It was just a slow kind of burn, and you knew they were gonna fuck it up right there at the end.
You knew that. I was expecting like an interception or like Matt Ryan fell backwards instead of kneeling or something. I'm like, God, this.
Dude, and you got to put that on coaches, though. You got to put that on. I mean, players should know, obviously, because I mean we know, so they should know. But if you're on the hands team, you don't know this shit.
Your specialties of the team. That's why they put you on that particular team. You know how to grab. You know how to track the ball and off of awkward bounces. Because if you're on the hands team, when you get an onside kick, the ball bounces awkwardly. Mm-hmm. That's the onside kick. That's why you're on. That's why you're on that team. Like, just jump on the ball.
Mm-hmm. Jump on it, and it's over. You won.
Just jump on the ball. Hell, I would if they would have jumped on it and the shit would have squirted out and then the Cowboys would have picked it up. I would have been okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
at least you try to make a play.
God.
But here's the thing: there was like 4 or 5 of them around the ball. There's literally no way
team was around them, man.
Like, if y'all just jump together and pile on top of it, there's no way, because the Cowboys can't not touch it by rule.
Yeah,
by rule, they can't touch.
They can't even run up to the motherfucker no more, man.
Not touch the ball. Just two of y'all just get real close and just fall on the ball. You fall on the ball, I fall on you. So if the ball does squirt out, phrasing, we're covered. We're covered. Dog, that's stupidity, dog. That
was 100% stupidity.
Like, that's some shit that
are not knowing the score of stupidity.
Like, their coach is lucky this is week 2, because if this was week like 12, and I don't think the Falcons are gonna be that great this year, but he probably would have got fucking fired. Like, if this is later in the season, they probably
like, you're not even getting back on the plane. I'm gonna get you a ticket, and I'm gonna fly you home.
I thought you were gonna say like a charter. Like, nah, dude, you just get a ticket.
Hey, Coach Arthur Blank want to see you. Bring your playbook.
Bring your playbook.
Like, we got you a first class ticket on Southwest.
Yeah. You can only go from state to state. You can't cross states. Anywho. So we got that game. Then we got. Let's talk about Tom Brady.
Nah, that game kind of was. Man, it was Carolina.
The game. I'm just saying. Tom Brady being in a new place. He's, being in kind of a new system. Bruce Arians is his head coach now, which is a stark contrast to Bill Belichick. I mean, these are small little details that could affect some outcomes here.
To me, they're not interesting yet. This is my take on it. They're not interesting yet because I expected them to kind of start off slow. Like I said, it's a new. Everything's new, and they didn't have no off season. They had no preseason to kind of get this shit rolling to where they can kind of get a feel of it, each other in like real live game speed. So to me, Tampa Bay, they're going to be more reliant on their defense for the first quarter to 6 games of the season to me. And then they'll start trying to hit their stride. But to me, there's nothing. Because right now, Tom Brady looks old, but he looks old because he's thinking out there because it's a new system and he's just learning new stuff. So I don't think they're that interesting yet.
Jamal, your division opponent?
I mean, we whipped their
You guys are tied right now.
No, actually, we got the breaker because we beat their ass week 1.
Yeah, true.
So, Mike Evans, 0 catches. So, shout out to Lattimore or Shadow Moore. I still need to trade that.
Hey. I said Waller is a baller. That boy had 12 though.
Well, yeah, that game's coming.
But not on Shadow Moore though. Not on Shadow Moore.
Hey, joke for him.
He gets
just everybody else. He just did it on everybody else. But no. So I mean, with them, I mean, I do love the addition of Leonard Fournette. I think that gave another element to them. But at the same time, you know,
he's a closer.
Bucks, I just didn't see anything that they really did in the offseason to change their team from what they've been having beyond bringing in Tom Brady and, you know, the shell of Gronk. So I wasn't that excited about them coming in. Not saying they're going to be bad, but I think they're just going to be a team. Like they might miss a playoff and be one of them teams miss the playoffs with like 9-10 wins or something like that. So, you know, Tom Brady is, you know, he's not as, you know, what he used to be, but he's still plenty good to win with. But in a new system, like Simon was saying, you know, with a bunch of new players, and like one of the things is kind of interesting, and I get it because like if you've been doing something for 20 years the same way, very difficult to change up.
That's just like getting that electric car when I've been driving this gas one that's been doing me good for.
But like because like this is the little warning sign I see with them. So you got Mike Evans over here, you got Chris Godwin over here, you got what's his name, OJ Howard, you got the backs or whatever, and who is his leading receiver to this point?
That little white boy,
Scotty Miller or whatever the fuck his name is.
That little white boy.
That's Tom Brady, man.
But that's just.
Are you growing these guys? Like, what the fuck? Where are you finding these little tiny white receivers? Like, who can only get open within like a 3-yard area? But like, but when I saw that, I was like, he's like falling back into his old comfort zone of, and it's not about the guy being white, but that type of receiver running those type of routes. Right. And it's like, there's gonna be over the season, there's gonna be a tug of war in that organization with the coaches trying to, hey, how about we run that with Chris Godwin because he's got a lot of fucking talent. Right. Mike Evans, that's not his game. Like he's a long, deeper route receiver, but Chris Godwin can run them routes, and he's got way more talent than Scotty Miller. So why don't we throw it to him on those routes instead of what they're doing right now, which is having Evans and Godwin go deeper to open the underneath for Scotty Miller? What type of foolishness is that?
But that's not Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians been a chunking and dunking type dude. Like he wants to get the ball down the field. That is literally his MO. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, right now there is still the filling out. That's why I say they're not that interesting. If they 500 a game or two above or a game under or some shit like that, that's where I thought they were going to be right here at the beginning of the season. Once it gets to the middle of the season, hopefully you're kind of over your injuries and you kind of know who you're playing with and all that shit for the rest of the season. That's when I want to know what the hell, and that's when they should be on prime time and shit like that. Then we can get them niggas to roll in and see what they about. But right now, nah, man.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, fair enough. That makes sense. That all makes sense. However, we're here now. Jamile, you cannot run from this.
I know. Before we talk about this game right here, obviously we want to talk about this. I'll be short with this.
Okay.
Fucking San Diego and the Chiefs. Herbert getting in there and actually doing well, but the way he got in there, mother, how are you adopting? You puncture somebody's lung, giving them a shot, and this dude gonna lose his damn job.
You talking about Tyrod?
Tyrod and this shit, man. That's a shit show right there. That's some Charger shit for you.
Yeah.
Like that's how the hell you look you friendly fire type shit, and it's your quarterback, and it's by the doctor.
Ooh, I had a joke right then. I'm gonna let that shit ride.
It was a Pat Tillman type shit.
I said I'm gonna let it ride.
See, I knew where you was going with it, but yeah, I'll
deny.
This is what I would say. I was pleasantly, but a little bit mad, but I was pleasantly surprised of Herbert how he played when he got in there.
He played good.
When I saw, and look, it's one game, and we all know how we've seen backup quarterbacks come in and kind of ball.
Yeah.
Nobody's prepared for their tendencies and all that, and then next week They horrible. So there's more time. But for a first game, especially when he didn't even know he was going to play. Yeah. So, but yeah, to your point though, Tyrod's got to be upset because he ain't getting that job back. It ain't coming back.
It ain't coming back.
And it's
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's going to cost him more because even if Herbert was eventually going to take over, down the road, like maybe next year or late in the season, at least if he had a chance to play well through the regular season, all right, you get you another deal somewhere else and you keep going, and he'll still be signed somewhere if he leaves the Chargers, but it's just
that's fucked up.
Look.
That's a
bad
trying to get free agents and shit, and you're like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable going over there.
Y'all got to get to me. You got to get a new team.
Oh yeah. That motherfucker ain't coming back. Yeah, hell no.
You gotta go, man.
Coach want to see you. Bring your needles, motherfucker. Shit.
Bring all them hoes because you sure as hell don't know where to stick them at. Phrasing.
All right. So, last game we're gonna talk about before we get to the picks.
Hey, I said we was a 10-win team before the season.
All right. So, again, if you haven't figured out, there's some Raider fans on this show, people. The fucking logo is very similar
Raiderish.
to that motherfucker.
Raiderish.
And so, but, how can we put this? How can we put this right now?
That was a slow burn ass whooping.
The Raiders won against the New Orleans Saints. Now, Simon,
yes,
we're going to give Jamile his moment to talk about his loss. Go ahead, Jamile. Go ahead. It's on you, buddy.
Well, yes, you guys gave us, I think, our 10th loss since 2017. So, it's been a long time, and that's why
we're talking about now. We're talking about now.
But
Derek Carr's undefeated against New Orleans Saints in his career.
I don't think that's true. I don't think
that's very true. He only played him twice. He beat y'all twice.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, 2016 is the last time we played y'all.
He might be undefeated at home against them.
He's only played y'all twice. He's beat y'all twice.
Anyway, let me talk about this game. So, started off well. It started off like a classic Saints Monday night beatdown. Like
this is gonna get nasty real quick.
They drive down. Immediately, no resistance, and then get stalled out at the 2-yard line or something. Kick the field goal. I wish we had got a touchdown there. But comes back the same way. But then, they started making mistakes. I mean, the first major thing was that fucking rookie ass interception breezed through right before the half.
Yeah,
just directly to the motherfucker. Like,
go get that hoe.
I'm like, is the linebacker running the goddamn route? Like, this motherfucker's coming. I thought he was on a crossing route.
There was literally no one else right there other than him.
I mean, I saw where he was going, but there's a linebacker in between you and that guy, and it was obvious. So whatever. He throws that horrible pick. Y'all capitalize on it. And at that point, like, it was all downhill from there. From that pick onwards, I don't know what the point differential was, but I'm guessing it's like, I don't know, 30-6 or some shit like that. But yeah, from that point on, it was all downhill. I mean, even when we would get things going, they would have penalties and back them up. Like I told y'all, when they got to that 3rd and 31, I was like, there's never been a team who's had a 3rd and 31 at any point in the game. It could be the first drive and had the game end well for them.
Yeah,
like, where you are 31 yards behind the sticks at any point in the game, you lose.
Just kneel that hoe and punt the bitch, man.
So at that point, I was like, this is not looking good. And then credit to the Raiders because, it wasn't just us imploding. They also took advantage of it because I was telling y'all this beforehand, but the adjustments Gruden came out with probably a bad plan in his first maybe 15 plays or so, where they were trying to set up these play action deep routes. First of all, it's very hard to run on the Saints, so they don't react to play action that heavy. But he quickly changed his strategy up and found his mismatch, which was Darren Waller, who let's just say they couldn't cover him, right? I mean, Demario Davis had some success, but Demario Davis, they also like to do a lot of shit with him. They like to blitz him, they like to move him around, all kind of stuff. So he couldn't be on him all night. And honestly, if he had been on him all night, like Waller would have eventually probably got the best of him. So, so shout out to the Raiders coaches, especially in the second half. I thought they outcoached the Saints. They adjusted. They stopped trying to throw them deep routes where Carr was getting sacked early on. Adjusted to throwing short routes on the main mismatch they had. The Saints corners are very, very good, right? They got Jenkins and Lattimore. So why even try to do that, especially if you have a mismatch in the middle with Waller, right? And then that eventually opened up the run game later on in the game. Y'all dominated time of possession.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Simon. That's what I was saying.
And
slow burn ass whooping.
And here was the impressive part about it, though. Y'all dominated time of possession, but didn't even really run the ball that well until like the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So that tells you, like I said, again, to the coaches, adjusting and throwing those short passes, which were just kind of like run plays, except nobody tackled Waller either. So they turned the long game.
Squeak. Dennis Allen, bitch ass. Like, I don't like him, and I haven't liked him. That's your defensive coordinator. I get it. I understand. Fuck Dennis Allen. That's what his ass gets.
I mean, he's been good for us. Y'all remember what the Saints defense was before he was there.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
So,
Simon?
Yeah. But yeah, overall got our ass kicked. You know, it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds, but also, you know, like I was saying earlier, you know, if somebody opens the door, you still got to walk through. And the Raiders didn't walk through; they just
ran through that motherfucker.
They gang raped us at that point. So,
all right, Simon, you're up, buddy.
Yeah. All right. You know, as Jay stated earlier in the game, it looked like shit. You know, from a Raiders fan, it's like shit. Well, you know, they didn't got themselves behind the 8 ball again.
That
you know, now it's gonna be per usual. Everybody that hates D Carr is gonna have their fuel to say something. Everybody that defends them gonna have their say to say something, and everybody's gonna hate Gruden and Madoff at the end of the game. And then quiet as kept, they didn't panic. That's one thing I did love about the team's effort on Monday night. Like as soon as they got down 10-0, they didn't panic. They kind of just got back into their play. Like I said, after they got out of the script and seeing what the Saints were doing to them, what they were taking away, what they didn't want to give up, they kind of found their groove, man. And once they found their groove for the game, it was really, at that point, you couldn't say the game was over because the Saints are that formidable of an opponent that you got to know they're always in the game. But you kind of knew, like, oh, this game is going for the long haul. Like, if motherfuckers don't get this shit corrected, the Raiders are going to score basically at will here in a little bit, because once it was about the second quarter on that third, fourth drive where you started seeing like, okay, shit is starting to click. They're starting to get their rhythm. And once they got their rhythm, it was really hard to stop them. And I had to go back to their third downs, because one thing quiet has kept it from last year, not to harp back on last year too much, Raiders were really good on third down and having sustained drives. It just, they didn't have a lot of them. Like the defense didn't cause no turnovers or anything like that. But like last year, the Raiders had literally the most 90-yard drives in the league by a large margin by everybody. But that's a good and a bad thing. Like, it's good that your offense can sustain a drive and go score, but it's a bad thing that they always have to go 90 yards to score. Like, there's a lot of because the more plays you have, Yeah, the more plays you run, the more times you, as offense, you have places to fuck up. As is a holding call, dropping a pass, this, that, and the third. There's more chances to fuck up, obviously. But once they got their groove, and once the second half started, and holding the Saints to one possession in the third quarter was really big, because you just choked the life out of the game, and now they have to abandon what they wanted to do, was give Kamara the ball on, all types of different things. Right. And now they got to kind of get where where Drew Brees is going to be at. He's going to drop back. He's going to be at 7-8 yards, and you can go and tee off and attack. No, they didn't get no sacks, but they got pressure that got in his face. Throw a lot of these throws that he is just usually pitch and catch for him was a little bit tougher. It's hard to throw that over route when there's a D tackle right in your face, or a DN swiping at you, and you kind of have to shuffle your feet and reset and then throw it. Now that gives a chance for the DB to actually make up that little space that the receiver made and break up the pass. So, like I said, man, it was a slow throttle. Raiders hit that cruise control by 75-80 and whooped their ass in the second half. I'm sorry.
And the only thing I got to say is the Raiders won. Because, see, I ain't getting all technical. God damn it, we got that goddamn W. And that's all that fucking matters, Jamal. Anywho.
It does at the end of the day.
That's all that matters.
It does.
So we're going to go to the picks, gentlemen. And
go ahead and fire them off. Yeah, go on and fire them off.
Like we normally do. We do 5 picks each week. And we go from there. The loser of that week must take a shot the very next week. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
This nigga drinking Kool-Aid and shit. Matter of fact, I ain't had no Kool-Aid in a long time.
There's a reason for that.
I used to be the best Kool-Aid. Put a little lemon juice in it. Boom.
I can never make Kool-Aid the right way. Like, never.
What?
It's art, man. It's art.
Okay.
Yeah, it is art.
It is. I'm not saying that it's not. Like, I can make ribs, I can make everything else on the menu. Kool-Aid, that ain't the one. Anyways, so I'll pick this week. I'll start it off. No big deal there. First game we got up, Cincinnati at Philly. Somebody got to win.
Do they?
There is a tie. That's always that.
There is a tie. I'll start mine. I'll start mine. That's Philly. If Philly loses this shit right here, man, motherfucking city about to burn down.
I mean, I guess, but it's the NFC East. Like, ain't nobody running away from him.
No, they're not running away from it, because I expect the Cowboys to lose at Seattle this week, but I don't know if that's one of your games that you're gonna pick. But I mean, as good as whatchalls are playing right now, how can you not take them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where's the game at? Is it in Philly?
It's in Philly. Yeah.
No fans though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that
you still gotta go up there in the whole thing. But that's a tough one, because see, the quiet problem that Philly has is that they actually don't have no receivers, right?
And their number one pick just went on IR with his thumb.
Who, Rager?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and already out. So
appreciate that, Nelson Aguilar. Good touchdown this week, baby.
You keep talking about the offensive line. I'm like, yeah, it might be something. They might not be playing that great, but it's probably cats ain't getting open down the field. And Wentz is one of them type quarterbacks where he's gonna hold it and try to make something happen. Mm-hmm. And mostly what happens is sex. So against the Bengals, I just believe in Philly's talent. Yeah. Even with all the injuries, I still believe in their talent over Cincy. What talent though? I'm gonna go with Cincy. Like I do.
You said it.
Yeah, I believe in Philly more than Cincy, but when I just start looking, I'm like, who's catching the ball? Who's running the ball? Who are their corners?
No, they're back. Their running back came back this week, so he's back. And they still Sanders is back, and then they got Ertz and they 2 tight ends are still pretty decent.
All right, I'll take the Eagles.
No, nigga, you already said Cincy.
All right, I got the Bengals. Sorry, Mike.
No, I got Philly this week, and I got it based solely on because Carson Wentz has been hearing the shit. Like, hell, I'm not even an Eagles fan.
Don't be one of them dudes.
Hey, I always base my picks off of just extra shit.
Try to cry. Like, that's not how it works.
I always base my shit off of extra shit, man.
Shit that you were doing last year in ticket sales is what the lowest price ticket is type shit.
I'm still looking at them.
But you played basketball. Did you go into the game with a chip on your shoulder and then always because you might have done that, but it only lasts like the first 5 minutes until you get out of breath. Then it's back to just regular effort.
Yeah.
No, I'm a retard. That shit lasted quite a while.
All right.
I'm sorry. But I got Philly just because again Carson Wentz has been hearing the shits. They are in Philly. Like I said, I got Philly this week. I mean, as a side, I got Joe Burrow throwing more passing yards than Carson Wentz. That
don't mean shit. Yeah, that doesn't mean shit.
I mean,
that don't mean a goddamn.
You go through that a lot of weeks because I remember Tony Gonzalez once explained what stats are for losers mean because he always says that, and he was saying, well, I'm not saying that just because you have a lot of stats you're a loser. He's like, you can get great stats and win, but he's like, when you look at people look at the end of the game, and like, oh, they had 350 yards passing. It's like, yeah, because they were down 20 and coming back.
Right. Yeah.
So like,
you had to throw 58 times.
Hey, LeBron had a 30-point triple-double last night. That shit was a Carlos Boozer triple-double. That shit didn't affect the game at all.
If Carlos Boozer get a triple-double, you lose by 35, baby.
That hoe did not. Your points when you were down by 20. Yeah, nigga, that didn't mean anything.
Yeah. All right. Next game up, Jamal.
Well, I gotta pick the Saints in this one. Like when you go out and have a shit show like they did, especially with all the penalties and all the, which is their trademark, like their whole
week 3. Yeah.
Their whole thing on the Peyton is being a disciplined team. They're not gonna kill themselves, and they let other teams kill themselves and they capitalize off of it. So it's back at home, in front of our empty stands. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think Devontae Adams might not be playing.
Gio, why Duke? Gio. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I think Devontae Adams might not be playing. I know he has like
this is early. This is early in the week. It's early in the week.
Yeah, so maybe he still plays. But even still, I like their chances in terms of those matchups. So I'm gonna pick the Saints, especially because I was watching. Because I'm this kind of fan. I watch every interview the Saints do. So I watch their post game. I watch their interviews throughout the week. They have like a YouTube channel. They put all the shit up there. I watch
all that shit.
Yeah, I watch that shit too.
Yeah, and they were pissed off. Like Drew Brees was pissed off. Everybody talking about he too old and whatnot. I mean, I'm ready too, Drew. One more game like that, and I'm ready to go.
Damn, now you gonna put them all the way in the source?
Look, if we're gonna lose, I'd rather eat a W, right? So
at least your belly full.
Look, so he was pissed off about that. Demario Davis was really pissed off. Like he's usually a very kind of friendly guy, at least in front of the cameras. But he was barely talking this week. So I think under the LP logic of they're mad and they want to have a better performance.
It makes sense, man.
So that's my pick.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I usually always go. It's always hard to be. I know when I call it the Thunderdome because that whole usually always rocking, and not gonna be rocking like it usually do. But that's usually one of the reasons why I always like to pick the Saints at home because it's like I said, once they get to rolling and they get to everybody's in that whole jigging and shit. It's like, yeah, it's hard to beat that shit because you feed off of that, man. As a football player, you feed off of that. But they're still, like I said, Devontae Adams he is questionable right now. And I'm looking at the shit right now, looking at the injury report. But off of just them being, like you said, being kind of pissed off at their showing, and I don't know, maybe Green Bay's eating out, kind of smelling themselves a little bit in these first couple of weeks because they didn't whoop the shit out of a couple of teams. It might bring them back to earth just a tad, hey. Because this is just, hey, New Orleans still that contender that we all thought they were going to be. And Green Bay's still a good team, but hey, this is a team you might see in these playoffs. So, be ready. So I'll go with just them niggas is, like you said, them niggas is mad.
Honestly, we got a clean sweep. I got New Orleans this week just because for the games I've watched with Drew Brees, right? And I don't know what his record is against like other elite quarterbacks. Really don't care. But the games that I've watched, Drew Brees shows the fuck up on these kind of games, right? And
they're Sunday nighters.
Yeah.
New Orleans loves the primetime game.
Yeah, coming off an L, and Sean Payton is a tobacco chewing, whiskey drinking ass coach, and so therefore, he's gonna make the right adjustments. Green Bay still riding on that high; they're still in that honeymoon phase. Eventually, they're gonna have to come down to reality. That whole division is ass right now, so they can
except Chicago.
They can
being serious.
They can afford to lose this game. Air quotes, you know what I'm saying? I think New Orleans is gonna get that ass.
And like Sean Payton was so mad, he skipped his interview, and then he made the team stay in Vegas to watch the film. So they were supposed to leave after the game.
Bitch ass niggas.
He postponed the flight, and then they had to watch that game in Vegas on Tuesday, which of course is the players' off day,
right?
Before they went back.
They flew back.
Yeah, see.
All right, what's next?
Next game up. I already got to watch California. Houston versus Pittsburgh.
I'm so disappointed in the fact that Deshaun Watson has to play for the Texans.
That is the reason why.
So every week I watch it, and every week I just get sadder and sadder and sadder.
I hate it for that man. I hate it for that man out there.
And look, he got paid. I'm happy he got paid. But boy, it's really tragic watching him play. Like, he has no receivers. I mean, he has Brandon Cooks, but Cooks is like a second type receiver. Should not be your first guy. Really, there are two main receivers, Cooks and Fuller. One, both get injured a lot, and two, they're both number 2 wide receivers. Both of them will be great across from DeAndre Hopkins, but they're not across from DeAndre Hopkins. They're across from each other, and it shows, right? They're a terribly coached team. I don't understand their decisions. They don't.
He talk about your squad.
First of all, the Cowboys are about to lose the goddamn fail cans. Right? So I want to hear shit. Y'all need a fucking comedy of errors just to get over the top on the goddamn Falcons. They just completely dominated y'all ass. Threw for like 900 yards on y'all. So don't come with that shit. Any team that knew the onside kick rules would have beat y'all ass that day.
Yeah. Give it to him.
Go watch some football. This ain't for you.
But so finish about every week the show.
Oh yeah, so every week I get sadder and sadder because he's so talented. Like, he should be doing the shit that Mahomes is doing, and Kyler and Russell and Lamar. Like, you see all these other guys who have these offenses built around them, and it works, and they protect them and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He doesn't have none of that. So as far as the game, Pittsburgh's defense has been pretty lights out so far this season. So I don't have no confidence that they're going to be able to score enough to beat Pittsburgh. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Right.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, you're doing too much.
Anyways.
Yeah, you're doing too much. You're doing
Probably.
You know.
But I got Pittsburgh. No, I'm going second. I got Pittsburgh this week. I got Pittsburgh this week just because I want
the ticket prices.
No, well, the ticket prices are $76, but I want Deshaun Watson out of Houston.
This ain't gonna do it.
No, but
he's the more a 5-year, $100-something million deal. Like he ain't going nowhere.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You know,
although Hopkins had a big deal too. They traded his ass. So.
Yeah, he can force a trade. Trust me. So hey, anybody is going to pay that amount.
Bro, Deshaun, we got to open it. We got to open it down the wall.
Anybody will pay that amount for that.
Yeah,
for that quarterback.
Yeah. Well, we do not have a clean sweep. I am actually going Texans.
Okay.
I'll be the odd one out. This is the reason why. As good as Pittsburgh has looked in the first couple of weeks, there's still something a little off about what they're doing. Not defensive wise, I feel like they're kind of flowing in a way that they're tough to beat because TJ and coming off the edge. But I feel, like I said, Deshaun has those games where, especially right now, they go through. If they go down 3-0-3, your season's basically a wrap.
Right.
So, and I always like his quote unquote moxie, like just him making plays, him willing his team to wins that they shouldn't get. And I feel that he feels that his back is against the wall this week, and he has to kind of show why I'm the second second highest paid quarterback in the league right now. Me and Mahomes, since we're the faces now, let me go on and show you that, hey, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's probably going to be a nail biter, come down to, some last second type shit. And, it's enclosed in that fucking 12 o'clock window where there's a whole bunch of madness going on at one time that you might not focus on. That I feel like this is a week where they get their first win.
All right. I like that. Like I said, I was going Pittsburgh, so there was nothing else more to say about that. Now, other game we got, this is going to be something different. We didn't do this last season, but we're doing it this season, that's for sure.
Here this nigga go talking to himself again. Just spring it on us when we're doing the show live, my nigga. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's the whole point. That's what makes it even funnier, right? We didn't do any Raider picks last year, right? Because
we did.
No, we didn't, because I'm always going to pick the Raiders, right? This year, I'm going to be a little bit more objective, I guess, right?
Yeah, Ho, you got me picking the Saints all the time. Like, pick your own team.
Yeah, that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason. So this week, we got the Raiders versus the Pats. I think that the Raiders will get this W, and it's not 100% fandom. It's 99.4% fandom, right? But I think we're going to get this W this week because, again, you want to turn Cam Newton into a passer, even though he can still burn you that way. He can still burn you that way. You want to turn him into a passer.
And they almost won, except the coaches called the most predictable play on the planet on the
most predictable play. Honestly, I'd have thought that play. I think Cam thought he was closer than what he was.
If he just bounces that, he scores.
Right. But I think that the Raiders were going there with a game plan that actually works, right? And be able to pull out a W. Now the defense is still going to give some problems. We are playing in fucking Foxborough, but again, I think we can go out there and get a solid victory.
I'll go second since I went last, and then Jay can go last. Well, off this kind of, it's a short week. This is another negative that's going towards the Raiders right now with this week going. Objectively, I would say I get why everybody would pick Pittsburgh, but the Patriots. I'm sorry, and they're starting at a 6-point favorite at home, which is good Lord. I get it, but shit, they did just beat one of the Super Bowl contenders. At least make it 4. But anywho, how Cam has played, it's not a shock to people that seen Cam play. So he's always. This is going to be a tough sledding ass game. I'll pick the Raiders just, especially to cover the 6 because that's kind of disrespectful. That they'll cover the 6, but I would go with them for the win as well. Off of just the rhythm of the coming off this last game, the rhythm of that they were playing with. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy or anything like that. It's far from that. It's fucking New England. You know what you're in for.
You know what you're fucking in for, yeah.
So, but this is kind of, to me, this is a measuring stick. This game shows me, even if they lose, this shows me where you at with your confidence and how this team is playing. If you go down there and get your ass drove, you lose by 10 plus points or something like that, then everybody had to say, oh, they're just the same old Raiders. They caught New Orleans on a bad week. You can do all that talking and everybody be justified to say this. But if you go down there, especially how Cam is playing, and you beat New England, it kind of makes you, it kind of turns people's heads to be like, okay, now we got to watch out for y'all. So I said they're a 10-plus win team at the beginning of the year. We all can confirm that in the text group, and I'm still sticking with it. I felt like they were going to win this game before the season, and how they're playing, there's no reason for me not to say that I feel like they're going to win this game this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Pats mainly because they're going West Coast team going East. That's regardless of the team. There's a bad record on that. Now that's not the whole thing, right? But that's when West Coast teams go East or East Coast teams go all the way West.
Right, it's a problem. It's a problem.
It's an issue. So that's one thing against them. 2, Patriots defense is still pretty good. So, they'll now they're not maybe as good as they were last year, where it was just at least for a little part of the season, it seemed like, damn, you can't even score on them. But they're not that good, but they are still good. But these 2 teams, other than the offensive receiving weapons, they actually kind of mirror each other. The Patriots defense is probably a little better, but in terms of what they want to do, which is grind it out and control the clock, control the ball, keep the other offense on the sideline. They both pretty much executing that game plan, right? But Belichick's had a few weeks to look at what y'all are doing this year, which is a little bit different from what y'all were doing last year, because y'all have some players who have won, some new players, but also some guys who have developed a little bit since last year. So I'm interested, regardless of who wins, I'm interested to see how he guards Waller, because you don't get much better than Belichick in terms of a defensive.
And he had a monster tight end for years.
And this is one thing Belichick did say about Waller. He said, I haven't seen one of those type of tight ends in a long time, and he had Gronk.
Yeah.
No, he had Aaron Hernandez.
Last time we saw one like that was what, Aaron Hernandez?
That day he had Aaron fucking Hernandez. That motherfucker was cold. God damn it, man.
Damn, that motherfucker was cold.
Damn, why you gotta be a killer?
If they had kept them 2 together, and didn't have the whole murder, but if they had kept them 2 together.
Yeah, just a little murder in there.
Just gloss over that shit. Gloss over that shit.
But I like we look at how good they were still, even without him. But with him and Gronk in their prime, controlling the middle of the field like that,
Would have been a wrap.
They used to line Aaron Hernandez up at running back and hand him the ball.
Because I'm trying to think, was Hernandez there when Moss was there?
No.
Was
Moss was gone.
No.
Gronk. It was him and Gronk.
Okay,
it was him and Gronk.
Hernandez came later after Moss was gone.
Yeah, it was him and Gronk.
Well,
because remember they now you know how many teams try to mirror that double tight end where you can go aces and you can just put them motherfuckers anywhere. Like I said, they were lining Aaron Hernandez up. They will come out on 21 personnel and put Aaron Hernandez in the backfield. Hey,
yeah.
Aaron Hernandez was the fucking problem, man.
And you will put, and then you can motion him out to the slot, and a linebacker has to go out there with him.
And Hernandez was a fucking problem.
Yeah, and if you had a good linebacker who could cover, which very few teams have one of those, but if you had a good linebacker who could reliably cover a good tight end, all right, we'll just use our other tight end. Like, okay, you got two of them.
Exactly.
You got two Mario Davisons. If you do, then okay, you got a cheat code. But
game 5.
So
last game.
Yeah, last one. Come on now.
Kansas City versus.
Who going first?
I got
I
Ravens.
gotta go first.
I
gotta go first just because this is my one to call first. Haven't called a game first yet. Kansas City and Ravens. At Ravens, I'm going Ravens. It's early in the season. It doesn't mean Kansas City isn't good. We all know they're good, but they got to have their come on. They had to have their kind of come down to earth game, because last week they should have lost that game. If it wasn't for their kicker kicking 3 50-yarders, and the one to win the game, they would have lost. Even the one that tied the game at the end to get them to overtime was a 50-yard kick.
58, 58 yards.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm taking Baltimore early in the season. They're rolling. They're playing well. They got a lot of people off balance. Lamar's slinging that hole more than he's running that hole. So right now, people are still trying to catch up. You know how Andy Reid can usually catch people off guard a little bit, early in the season. He got some funky motions and jet sweeps and shit like that. I don't see that shit happening this year because, motherfucker, y'all actually got that bullseye on y'all back this year. Everybody on when Kansas City comes in, that game is circled. Like, oh, the Super Bowl champs coming in. Oh yeah, we got something for their ass. We waiting for this shit. Yeah, we got something. So I'm taking the Ravens on this one. I mean, they're only a 3.5-point favorite, but I mean they're at home and they've been rolling. So I'm going with them, especially in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with the Ravens too. First of all, I mean, if I had to, gun to my head, pick an AFC title game right now, it'd be KC and the Ravens.
One.
But nobody would blame you.
Yeah, but the funny thing about the Ravens is they're the perfect opposite of KC, right? So I mean, this is a great matchup because the
unmovable force against an unstoppable. I get what you're saying.
Run it every down.
If you're gonna do a wrestling quote,
but
I fucked it up.
The run is their bread and butter. So they're built to dominate the clock, keep Mahomes on the side, get him down by a couple touchdowns. Hopefully he can make a mistake because we've seen with Mahomes when you really put him behind the 8 ball and he's trying to make something happen. It's not like a criticism. Happens to a lot of quarterbacks, but when he's really trying to make something happen, he can have some bad turnovers. Now he usually makes up for
He presses.
Yeah, but he can have some bad turnovers. He fumbles a lot, probably more than any quarterback in the league right now. And he'll throw some bad picks every once in a while, but you got to get him uncomfortable. If he's comfortable, he's just gonna Texas Tech.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. So I think their game plan is going to be take the air out the ball, possess it as long as possible, get them down, and then let their defense come after them because their defense is good too. And KC's defense, I still don't buy their brand. Like, I respect them because at least the guys who were there last year, because look, you did it, right? You did enough to win. And they really did step up in the playoffs. But I still don't buy their brand totally. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if KC won it. But we'll have to see. But, this is, I might be more excited for this game than my own team game.
It's going to be a sight to see.
Gas bag?
I will say this. I'm literally going with Baltimore because I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are a great team. I think they're a great team. They have a great quarterback. I love Andy Reid when he was with the fucking Eagles. They won a Super Bowl. Okay, everybody got their shit out of the way, okay? Harbaugh, I like Harbaugh as a coach. Obviously, Lamar Jackson as a quarterback, he's fucking phenomenal. But no, I'm just going with them just because of the mere fact that Kansas City needs to lose every fucking possible game that they can fucking lose. I don't like how they lost. How they won this last game. Hold on. I don't like how they won this last game. I thought it was bullshit. And I think they are ripe for the picking, right? I think they are ripe for, hey, lose a couple of games here and there, lose a couple of division games. Hey, you guys may fuck around and not even win this division this year. That's just me.
You can't be looking at your picks through that lens.
I am literally looking through my picks from that lens.
Okay.
because again, I know taking the Raider side out of it, they're a phenomenal fucking football team. Okay, just phenomenal from top to bottom. Right? I don't even know who owns these motherfuckers, but the owner has to be fucking phenomenal, right? I mean, just to have the wherewithal to do.
It's the Hunt family.
Oh, okay. There you go. So it's a whole family thing. So they're not fucking with shit. Stop. And so, but nevertheless, I just hate them so much. I want them to lose every game. Now, in saying that doesn't mean if Kansas City's game come up, I'm going to pick against them. But Baltimore is the right team to do that, especially week 3.
I'm about to say you just picked against them.
yeah. Like for example, this is one of those games where Baltimore beat the shit out of Kansas City, right? But then they go play each other in the fucking AFC Championship game, and Kansas City beat the shit out of Baltimore. This is one of those games, okay? And so, I'm gonna get it right now. Baltimore gonna win this game. And honestly, what's the spread on that game, Simon? Because I know you're looking at it.
3.5. Baltimore. So
I think
the home field advantage. Home field advantage is 3 points, so they feel like they'll beat them by a little bit more than a field goal. So
I think this was going to be a blowout. I think Baltimore is going to go out there and state some dominance for week 3, and that's going to be another like 45-27 type shit. You heard it here first. You heard it here.
45.
45. Out my ass.
He's gas bagging right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 45-27. I got it. Baltimore with the W.
All right. We need to talk about this basketball shit. I'm actually watching. That's why my head keeps on turning.
The Heat.
Boston getting their ass kicked again.
We yeah, of course.
The Heat are serious, man. They are a fucking serious team. I've been really impressed with them doing the playoffs.
Yeah. You can't help but be impressed. They've only lost 2 games.
Coach Spo. I've been telling y'all for years. Coach Spo.
That's what you need to be trying to get is Spo with the Mavs.
No, that ain't gonna happen. It's too much beef there. Miami won their first championship against Dallas. Dallas won their first championship. No. Coach Spo can never be on my team, dog. But I respect his shit.
$15 million a year can't heal.
Shit, fuck that. Mark Cuban them ain't paying. Fuck Coach Spo. That nigga grew up in that system, dog. That's a Pat Riley savant, man. Coach Spo ain't going nowhere, dog. This nigga like 40 some odd years old and been with the Miami Heat organization for 27 years. Get the fuck out of here. Shit ain't going nowhere. Anywho.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Miami beating their ass right now. Well, not beating their ass. They up by 6, but it's only 18 seconds left. It's a lot of time, but still.
You know in the goddamn NBA.
3. Yeah. They might come back from 3-1. So you never know.
Until midnight in the NBA.
Yeah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. PJ, you want to say something before we go? Why don't you want to say nothing? No, show your shirt. The shirt is fucking hilarious.
Dad.
Show your shirt,
Dad.
Now you got to see. You got to look at your face. You got to look at your face. PJ, what do you want to say?
Nah, don't force him.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. What's it say? I can't see it.
Give your dad some of your hair, man.
I'm bad with names. Can I call you dumbass? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Where the hell he got that shirt from?
His mama. That's his mama fucking shirt, actually. But boys, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Straight Man the Show 152. Yeah, that's what we do, man, every single week.
Hey, that's a good 2 hours right there since we were gone for 2 weeks.
You see how I let it ride like that, man? Hey, I just look like this, man. There's a method to the madness. There's always a method to the madness. You know what? Fuck it. If you want to do the after show shit, send me a DM or send somebody a DM or something like that. We'll get you on there. No big deal. No big deal. We got this bitch.
You kiss your kids, you go out, you bust your butt every day as hard as you can, give 100% effort to the people who have given you an opportunity, you do everything right, and then you go home and you...
Don't even start. We'll get on that shit a little bit later on.
If it ain't white, it ain't right.